Hi there. In this next clip we're going to take a look at a really useful skill, generally for the winter, for when it's wet, serve you well all through the year though, and that is making feather sticks. This is the means by which we take a piece of wood and we increase its surface area to expose the dry stuff inside. What we're effectively doing is we're making our own kindling. When it's wet, when it's been raining for a long time in the forest like this one, finding that crackly, snap, crackle and pop dry stuff on the ground or even in the trees, it can be challenging. This may mean we're going to need to make our own, and in this next clip, like I said, I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, stay with me. It's time to get to work. Okay, I'm liking the look of this behind me. These branches, the bark's away on a lot of them. Some of them are more or less vertical. Trees been down for a long time. There's every chance that I can break these off without using any tools, axes, saws, and they can be the start point for some good feather sticks. They've got some nice curves in them as well. That's going to help. Note of caution: when you're working with, particularly with these pine trees, they've got lethal out branchings like spikes all over. Ensure you've got a good footing and a safe working position before you get in amongst it and start putting a lot of pressure on the branches. Okay, to start with, I'm going to choose where I've got a natural curve in the wood and I'm going to work that side. You'll find that if you carve the hump of the wood, that your blade can just glance off. If you work to the inside, you've got a better chance of retaining those curls on the actual wood itself. Now you see that I've got the knife at a right angle to my arm and I've closed my fist fully round it. This is like going to give me maximum mechanical advantage, and I'm going to get right above the work and push down with my body weight. I'm not going to pump up and down with my arm, that'll just make me tired really quickly. I'm going to use the weight that I've got and I'm going to push it down onto the wood, onto the knife. As long a curl as I can. There we go. Gently, slowly, like you're peeling a carrot. A little bit of toughness there. There we go. Now you see that if I angle the blade as I go down, it's going to curl off to one side, and if I angle it the other way, it should curl to the other side. Now by doing this, you can seriously fluff up the feather stick and give it more featheriness. It's harder work. If you need to get this done in a hurry, nice long downward strokes gonna do you just fine. Now you'll notice as I cut in here, I'm making a flat surface with a ridge, and I just go then to the other side and I've got a perfect plane to cut in. And I'll turn it back and push down. I can go the other way, go through the middle, keep using the edges all the time, pushing with my weight and as little as possible with this. Okay, now I'm just going to roll that up a bit. The keel's in the same place. We've lost a few, it doesn't matter, you can pick those up and just add them to the pile later. Now if you're carrying the tools and there's sufficient standing deadwood or down timber of a sort of bigger diameter lying around, you can use the tools to break into that, expose the dry stuff inside, and again, good feather stick material. Okay, that's looking promising, and best of all, it's going to have some nice sharp crispy corners on it, which are going to make cutting into it with the knife, feathering it up, that little bit easier. Okay. Okay, well that's what I'm talking about. Listen to this as well. Lovely musical note it's got. That combined with the fact a lot of the bark was away on the outside led me to believe that we'd have some dry wood inside here, even though it's been raining and snowing now for weeks here. This is going to work well. Work my way round the wood. There's plenty here. We're losing a few, and it's not a problem. Now I've often found myself in the situation where I'm thinking, cold, I'm wet, it's getting dark, I've got to get the fire lit, I've made 2 pretty good feather sticks and 1 not so good, it'll probably be enough. It never is. It's just one of those things. 6 is a good number. 6 reasonably well made feather sticks should be enough. just bear it in mind. Put yourself in that situation. Cold, wet, failing light, absolutely got to get the fire lit, as opposed to doing it for for demonstration purposes or whatever, like we are today. It's got to light first time, because option 2 is restarting the whole process, going back out into the trees looking for suitable wood, this time at a much less suitable time. Be patient, take that time. You can always cut corners with your firewood. You can maybe split a few less logs, maybe cut the pieces a little bit longer. You cut corners with your fire preparation, laying and ignition, and you just, chances are you're just not getting a fire. So I've made a good bundle of feather sticks here. I'm going with the magic number of 6 or higher being ideal. Okay, let's get it lit. Okay, because this is my show, we're going with my favourite or preferred method of lighting a fire. Nothing too exotic or old worldy. This is some regular household white block fire lighter. I'm just going to crumble it like it was an OXO cube into a fine powder, and then I'm going to hit it with my ferro rod, hopefully just once or twice. There we go. It's not the cleverest, but it definitely works. Now I'm going to lay my feather sticks on. Now this is where we got the advantage, where we can see the advantage of keeping the feathers actually on the sticks. It's going to enable me to arrange these much more easily and to my satisfaction. I don't have to get a great old handful of shavings and try and position them. They've still got the sticks attached, so I can just get them on in there in the best place. And I'm just going to pile them up. No real science to it. I want as much of the feathery stuff in the middle as I can. I think that's all of them. I'm going to put this out in a moment. Obviously, if I was planning to make a more involved fire, I'd have my next layer of kindling standing by, in my sort of thumb thick stuff, and then all the wood I was going to need for the rest of that fire. That's not a necessity today. We're just demonstrating the feather sticks, and they seem to have taken rather well. Despite the fact the wood was wet, we've managed to expose the dry stuff inside, and although that's pumping out a bit of smoke, it's not the driest wood. It's going to work. That would be the start to our fire. As you can see, I've only had to do that just once.